Just when you think the SPAC craze is over, another SPAC EV comes out. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Faraday Future, which recently announced that it's going to be merging with Property Solutions Acquisition Corp, or PSAC. So as we've seen in the past year, SPACs have been a very popular route to be able to take companies public. However, EV SPACs are all the craze, as we've seen EV companies come out left and right announcing that they're going to go public via SPAC. Now, Faraday Future has some really cool cars and concepts. However, they still have no sales and they're still working on ramping up their production. So in this episode, I'm first going to be talking about the company and what they're all about. Second, going to be talking about their financials and valuation. Third, talking about some risk factors. And fourth, what I plan on doing with the stock. So before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys like this content, consider subscribing to the channel. With that, let's dive right into it. One of the first startups to be hailed as the Tesla killer is finally going public. California-based Faraday Future said on Thursday that it has agreed to merge with Property Solutions Acquisition Company, or PSAC, in a deal that values the combined companies at about $3.4 billion. Now, who is Faraday Future? Well, they're an American startup tech company focused on the development of electric vehicles, originally founded in 2014. Now, there's been over $2 billion invested to date. They have expected launch within 12 months of merger, supported by over 40 different prototypes. They have 300 plus employees led by CEO Carsten Britfield. Now, their battery, drivetrain, and related technology competitiveness is supported by approximately 880 filed utility and design patents. Now, the first model of the car is called FF91, which boasts 1,050 horsepower, less than 2.4 seconds, 0 to 60, and offers a truly unique harmonized internet and intelligence third living space that outperforms Tesla. They also believe that this is compelling relative value at 0.2 times EV 2024 and about 3 times the 2024 EBITDA. Now, they're targeting deployment in major cities in the US, Europe, and China. Their manufacturing reach, they have a 1.1 million square foot manufacturing facility in Hanford, California, with an expected production capability of 10,000 vehicles per year. Now, they have an additional contract manufacturing agreements with South Korea and expected production capability of up to 270,000 vehicles per year. And they're in the process of establishing Chinese manufacturing presence. Now, we can see their product portfolio. They have the FF91, which is their first production vehicle and flagship model. It does 378 miles of range and is 0 to 60 in under 2.4 seconds. And in the pipeline, they have FF81, FF71, and the Smart Last Mile Delivery. Now, the FF81 is a premium mass market electric vehicle with about 60% commonality of the FF91. Lastly, they have the FF71, which is the mass market vehicle, and they're following a very similar business plan as Tesla and Lucid Motors, by first coming out with an expensive car and slowly designing cheaper mass market vehicles that the majority of the population can afford. Now, they have a team with decades of proven executive experience, and we can look all across the board, and they have experience at really notable places, such as BMW, Ferrari, Maserati, and the list really goes on from there. Now, to date, Faraday Future has received over 14,000 reservations. And with this recent SPAC transaction, the FF91 is expected to launch inside of 12 months of equity funding. Now, the notable specs is that it does about 378 miles from a 130 kilowatt battery, and it was named one of the best cars of CES 2020. So now we're just taking a look at the interior. It looks pretty sleek. Honestly, it kind of just looks like a Tesla, but more futuristic. Now, it has that vertical dashboard right in the middle, similar to Tesla. However, on the passenger side, there's actually a display as well. Now, Electric, a notable EV blog, says that the FF91 is more like a Bentley or Rolls-Royce, with a long, lean, spacious cabin, complete with a zero-gravity reclining seat. Now, honestly, I think it looks really sleek. I really like the curvatures of the whole design, and it looks like there's a lot of space in the back. Now, here's a prime example of how much space there is, as you can recline all the way back and stick your feet all the way out. I won't be going over all the details, but you guys can see it for yourself, how this car is really trying to be very tech focused and very luxurious. They're claiming that the back is a very unique rear entertainment system for the ultimate passenger experience. They have a feature called Innovative Spa Mode with ventilated seats, seat massage, and control over ambient environment. They also have an insane display, including the industry's first 17-inch front passenger screen and the 27-inch rear passenger display, allowing users to stream their favorite movies, TV shows, live sports, and more. So let's see where it stacks up against other notable car companies. Another point to consider is how expensive this car is relative to these other car companies. FF91 is going to be priced over $150,000. We immediately know that they're targeting the very high upper class. And with that, we expect a lot of performance out of the car. Now, I really like to see that they're on par or even better than Tesla on a few different metrics. Now, they beat out Tesla on horsepower, and they're staying right around the same range of 0 to 60, the range, and charge time. Now, they claim that FF91 is a leader in comfort, and the features differentiate it in the EV market. They have personalization, spa mode, and on-screen gestures, which you can't get in any other car company. Now, one important factor for me when I'm looking into some of these EV car companies, especially the upper class ones, is really their autonomous driving. Now, they claim that the FF91 is L3 ready. Now, the scale for autonomous driving goes from L1 all the way to L5. L3 is right in the middle, which means that the vehicle can take over all driving functions under certain circumstances. The less complex highway environment is the most logical circumstance. So we can think of this as, essentially we can think of this as lane keep assist and mixed in with cruise control. Now, Tesla believes they're very close to level 5 autonomous driving, which is really a game changer for this whole entire industry. It'll be really interesting to see if FF continues to scale up towards level 5 autonomous driving or if they just stay at L3. Now, they're targeting their launch for Q1 of 2022, so as of next year. Their target pricing is starting from $180,000. Damn, that's expensive. But it's going up against the likes of Bentley, Lamborghini, and Ferrari. Now, they're planning on rolling out their cheaper version starting from $100,000 of Q4 of 2022. From then on, they have the 81 coming out of Q2 of 2023. Now, they plan for the FF81 to come out in 2023, and then the FF71 to come out in 2024. Now, the cheapest version, FF71, is planning on starting at $45,000, but that won't be ready until Q2 of 2025. So that's a really long time for now, guys. A lot can happen. And it's really easy to throw out these different timelines for this. However, actually producing and delivering the cars is another story. So that's just something to keep in mind. So we can see the competition that they're going up against. Now, they're targeting both the comfort and modern aspects of the car industry. They're going up against the likes of Lucid, NIO, Tesla, and Rivian, which are all EV companies, as well as Bentley, Mercedes, and Range Rover, which is more on the comfort end. It's also important to note that they're creating a smart last mile delivery vehicle. They believe it has a high growth opportunity and is expected to launch in Q4 of 2023. They're also claiming that their electric drivetrain performance, based on a power to weight ratio, is better than the Tesla Model S. Their battery pack level energy density is also higher than the Model 3, Model S, BMW i3, and more. They're really hitting on this fact that they have an integrated technology stack with advanced internet, autonomous driving, and intelligence technology. As some proof for their next level technology, they have a lot of patents filed. They have 880 global patents filed, with 550 actually granted and 330 patents pending. Now, it's really key to see how they're actually able to produce these cars. They say that they have a flexible manufacturing strategy, which provides a clear path to production. As we talked about earlier, their Hanford, California primary manufacturing facility has a capability of 10,000 vehicles per year, which, to be honest, really isn't that much. The factory is expected to be complete from the transaction time plus 9 months. But the key thing is that they have a contract for manufacturing for future models in Busan, South Korea. That's expected to be done by 2023. This production capability would be up to 270,000 vehicles per year. Now, it's really important to see how they further develop this production, as it's probably one of the most important key factors in driving revenue for FF as they need to get their cars on the road. Now, they also have a partnership with Geely, in the top third largest non-government owned OEM in China. This partnership would allow a total annual expected production capability of 100,000 to 250,000 units estimated starting in 2025, and an additional 150,000 units estimated in 2026. Now with that, let's dive into the financials. Now obviously, they don't have any sales, and they don't project it into 2022. Next year, they plan on selling 2,400 FF91s. However, we can see in 2023 that significantly ramps up to about 38,600 cars, and that translates to about $4 billion in sales. We can see it's an exponential curve. Now they believe that the demand for their EVs is there, and later on they project their FF81 and FF71 to sell significantly more than their FF91. Now their profitability. So clearly they're going to be losing money for the next few years. In 2021, they plan on taking a loss of about $227 million, and that's going to boom to $722 million over the next year. After that, they believe that they'll start becoming more profitable as they start delivering more vehicles, and by 2024, that's when they actually plan on hitting profitability. Now their equity value is at $3.4 billion. This transaction implies a pro forma enterprise value of about $2.6 billion. This translates to 0.2 times 2024 revenue and 3 times 2024 EBITDA. Now that's great and all. 0.2 times 2024 revenue? Great, that seems like a deal, right? However, that's only if they're able to completely execute on their goals. And not only the fact that it's very difficult to produce a lot of these high-end vehicles, but this company has been trying to produce vehicles for a very long time and have been struggling with it. So that's definitely something I keep in mind when looking at their valuation numbers. So to wrap it all up, FF believes that they're setting a new standard in luxury and performance that will enhance quality of life and redefine the future of intelligent mobility ecosystems. They have a leading new product on the market. They have industry-leading technology. They have proceeds from the SPAC transaction that will culminate in expected launch in about a year. And they have a highly experienced management team well positioned to drive the success of FF for years to come. Now, what we're looking at right now is the risk factors that they put in their investor relations page. Now, I'm not going to be going over all this. Do you know why? Because this goes on for multiple pages. First page. Second page. Third page. Fourth page. Fifth page. Sixth page. Seventh page. Clearly, there's a lot of big risk factors that go into developing a next generation luxury EV vehicle. Now, I'm not going to be talking about the ones that they mentioned. What I want to do is talk about their history. Now, what we're looking at is an article on The Verge. Now, going public has long been a goal for Faraday Future. After debuting its luxury SUV, the FF91, at the 2019 Consumer Electric Show, Faraday Future spiraled. It was facing a major cash crunch after already spending hundreds of millions of dollars of founder Jia Yutang's own money. At the same time, Jia self-exiled himself to the US as he tried to escape the massive mounting debts in his home country, China, following the collapse of his tech conglomerate, Lieco. Now, Faraday Future brought in 2 former BMW executives to help strain things out, and the startup abandoned plans to build a $1 billion factory in the desert in favor of taking over a smaller, dormant plant in Central California. Now, Jia ultimately rejected Kraus's larger pitch to restructure the startup through bankruptcy, and the CFO and his BMW counterpart resigned. They went on to actually found the startup that's now Canoe, which is also merging with a SPAC that's already out on the public market. Now, a wave of other resignations followed, and weeks away from running out of cash, Jia put everything on the line to sign a deal at the end of 2017 with Chinese real estate conglomerate Evergrande, worth up to $2 billion in exchange for 45% of the company. You really don't want to see that the company is just being completely diluted by their own CEO. Now, this relationship with Evergrande soured across the year as Jia quickly spent through the conglomerate's first $800 million installment. When he asked for more, they used their opportunity to try to sideline him. Ultimately, it wasn't satisfied that Jia actually relinquished control, and the two sides started a months-long legal battle. Now, while this whole drama was happening, Faraday Future was down to just a few $1 million in the bank. It laid off hundreds and furloughed hundreds of more, and cut salaries all across the board. Now, top executives started fleeing the company. Now, they reached a truce with Evergrande on the final day of 2018, and the conglomerate was released from the remaining $1.2 billion and reduced its stake to 32%. After that, Faraday Future has been treading water ever since, staying alive by borrowing from an investment fund run by a bankruptcy legend. So, this company has a very rocky past. Jia stepped down as CEO in 2019, and he was quickly replaced, but however, he's still with the company. Now, it's not to say that this company won't succeed in the future. However, their history tells a lot, and since this company has been trying to release products ever since 2014, and is still projecting it to not be done until 2022, for me, that alone is a reason why I don't plan on buying this stock. Well, there you have it, guys. That was my breakdown of Faraday Future. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this company, as well as what you guys plan on doing with this stock. Now, some of my first impressions is that I really like the car. I think it's really sleek, and it looks very futuristic. And I think they're doing a really good job branding this as a next generation tech and luxury vehicle. However, the risk factors that I mentioned earlier are some of the reasons why I don't plan on buying this stock right now. Now, it's one thing to like the product, which I really do. However, it's another thing to actually invest your own money into it. For me personally, I would love to see the company execute on its business plan and to actually start delivering their vehicles. Now, it's always tough to value a pre-revenue company, so I think it's really important for you to not only understand their management, their business priorities, but also what their production capabilities are and some of their future plans. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like this company and their product. However, I'm already too invested in the EV space with my money tied up in NIO, XPeng, and CCIV, reportedly Lucid Motors. So at this point, I'm just gonna hold off and watch where it trades. So with that, thanks for sticking around, guys. I'll see you in the next video, and let's go get that bag.